asked him, as a law enforcement officer, how does he compare IDPA to other matches that he's shot?
It's more applicable to states that have CCW laws, lets the average person on a player or even playing field as opposed to my stock gun against your race gun. A lot less intimidating, a lot more camaraderie between everybody that's shooting. As you can see with the group we're with here, you've got myself to Ken Hackathorne shooting and all discussing the same day-to-day things, you know, where are you going out and have a cold beer at later tonight type deal, which makes it a lot better, a lot less pomposity. It's much more realistic in that regard. I wouldn't consider it quote-unquote defensive training, but it's practical training. You're never going to get defensive training in a sporting environment, but it does give you better gun handling skills, closer scenarios, more in line with what you actually see in statistics of gunfights today. All agencies and trainers instill that in their people. They train for their own survivability capability, and this will reinforce it.
We've done our best to limit the equipment race for two reasons, Lenny. You know, you and I both have been around these a long time. I can remember you coming to some of the very first events we had, and you saw the kind of equipment people use. As a matter of fact, the average guy could afford to go out and buy himself a gun and a pretty basic holster and some magazines and come out and compete. Well, you've seen how it's turned into a virtual gear-related, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars. So you can imagine a new shooter who says, I want to get into pistol shooting, and comes out at the range and sees this, he's going to walk away and say, bag it, dude, I can't afford it. Now we're going to say, if you got a Glock, a Ruger P85, a Smith, a Beretta, a SIG, whatever, you don't need a fancy gun. You just need a basic holster, a couple magazines, magazine pouches, 100 rounds ammo to come to your local match. And what we've tried to structure it, especially with these different divisions, is that if you're shooting a Ruger P85 and I'm shooting a $2,000 my custom Wilson 45, we're not even competing against each other. You're just got to beat the guys in your division. And all I have to do is beat the guys in mine. And the key thing is we want this huge mass of Americans that are buying guns for self-defense to get involved.
Because this is a training ground for self-defense, is it not?
I would say, by the way, its orientation is towards learning self-defense principles.